Mic test, mic. Hello mga Pepsters, hello. Hello mga Pepsters. Hello mga Peps! This is Nikko Tuazon and welcome to Pep Live.
Hello, Pepsters! I'm Teen Violet and very special ang ating Pep Live for today's video.
Bakit nga special?
Kasi naman, di ba? Kasing ganda natin yung guest natin today. Umuo ka.
Sige na nga. Ayoko mabash eh. Pero bahala na siyang mag-decide. Oo. Pero ayan, very special nga yung guest natin today. At bukod doon, first time natin mag-live talaga na in person, di ba? Kaya dahil special din ang person na i-interview natin, please welcome Miss International 2023 third runner-up Nicole Borromeo. Alam palakpak dyan yung mga ganon, energy.
Thank you for the introduction. I feel so happy to be here.
So welcome to Pep Live, Miss Nicole. How are you feeling?
I feel very honored because, like you said, this is your first ever live, and I get to be your first ever guest. And it's my first time here with you guys, so today is extra special.
Oh, mainit-init. Ramdam ko yung mga ilaw. At saka yung warm talaga. Okay, so bago tayo chikahan muna, ang hashtag po natin for today is hashtag Nicole Borromeo on Pep Live. And kung may questions kayo, lagay niyo lang sa comment section down below. Itatanong natin yan kay Miss Nicole. And live tayo ngayon saan?
Facebook, YouTube, and Kumu.
So, i-share niyo na guys. Live tayo dyan. Drop gifts na. Alam niyo na yan. Okay. Ikaw na muna magtanong.
Ayan. So, kumusta, Nicole, ang pagbabalik Pinas after ng Miss International at nakuha mo ang third runner-up?
You know, tagal ko dito, dyan sa Hapon. It was so long there, and it was such an incredible experience that to bring home the top 5 back to the Philippines, it feels really heartwarming because I felt that support. I felt that it was a shared victory, that I wouldn't have been there if it weren't for all the love of the Filipino people. So being back here, it feels amazing. We've been having media rounds since last week. Credits to Sir Leroy. And yeah, it's been amazing, and I'm excited for what's in store.
Ang tagal din ng naging journey mo. Grabe. Pero bago tayo dyan, what's the first thing that na ginawa mo after the pageant? Ito na. Parang maganda yung kwento.
You mean like
mo
the day
dito.
after or like
The day after.
Oh god. Well, actually, fun little fact, the day after we had to transfer hotels. So the top 5 stayed while the rest had to prepare and fly back to their respective countries. While we were packing, it's iba talaga kasi you have to do your own packing by yourself. So all the 4 giant luggages that I had to zip and bring down on my own. And it's really a different experience doing that. Before we headed to the hotel, we actually stopped by McDonald's, and the McDonald's in Japan is really good. They've got all these different flavors. They don't have any rice though, which was such a surprise because we love our rice. and the rice in Japan is fantastic. But we tried the little burgers and the McFlurry. It hits different there. So that was that. We enjoyed a good meal. We headed straight to the hotel, and we were just finally given the chance to breathe and relax and take in the win.
Yes.
We got to hold on to our crowns and really cherish it. Sayang, we don't get to bring it home though.
So nasa Japan ang crowd.
Oh, I was like, no.
Sayang naman. Sana may replica na
Exactly.
Para
Like, gotta
makita,
take some
diba?
pictures.
Pero parang first time ata yun na ganun kalaki yung crowd.
Crowd.
Kasi dati, di ba, maliliit yung mga cute size yung crowd.
For the runner-ups.
Yes.
I was surprised na it's all the same pala, the design. So first runner-up, second runner-up, third and fourth. The design of the crown is the same. And it's, like you said, malaki,
Bigger.
super big, yeah.
Oo. Pero ang cute kasi kapag crowning moment ng Miss International kapag runner-up, hindi inaabangan ko yung mga malilit na crowd.
diba?
Tas yung iba hindi alam kung saan ipe-place, basta taas ba ng bar.
Lalo na
or-
pag nakaibig.
Nakababad. Ayan, so balikan muna natin yung crowning moment. Ayan,
Ayan.
syempre. Sige,
What
ikaw
was
na.
going through your mind, Nicole, when they started calling the winners?
Oh, wow. When they started calling the winners, I was a lot calmer than I thought that I would be. Because at that point, we've already done the best that we could, all of us. So in my head, I was already thinking, whatever you want, God, whatever your plan is, if it's for me, that'll be amazing. If it's not, then I'll completely understand. And to make it to top 5 felt like an incredible achievement because this is the first year that they've had 70 countries, I think. I think it's one of the largest number of candidates to compete in Miss International. And it's also a year that's evolving. It was the first time ever in the history of Miss International for them to put in the Q&A portion because
True.
every year the Miss International has been known iconically for their speeches.
Yes.
And so that's what I really just prepared for when I got there. My speech, and I was ready to do that. And we find out on the day that we arrived that they would be changing things up. They also removed the swimsuit, which I thought was really interesting. The production went so smoothly, and the national costume that Miss Axe designed is so bold and colorful. Like, it felt so great that we had the creative freedom to do whatever we wanted in terms of styling for this competition.
Ayan, himay-himayin natin yung mga
Oo,
experience mo
later.
later. Pero meron kang chika kanina na meron kang biggest challenge that day.
Biggest challenge.
Sure na yan.
Oo.
Okay, so okay, you really like this story. So before we started this interview, I actually shared the story to you guys. So I'll share it again. On the day of the coronation, we had rehearsals in the morning. All 70 of us were gathered on the stage, and we really took in the fact that this was the last time we would be seeing each other. One of our chaperones, KJ, comes in and he tells us to close our eyes. He gives us a whole speech that he prepared, and it almost sounds like a meditation because he was saying things like, you know, you girls are so special. Each one of you are like representing your country with pride. You're already winners, and getting to know you, your looks are the least most beautiful thing about you. It's your heart, it's your story, it's your spirit. And the way he said it just made me bawl my eyes out. I was a sobbing mess. Like, it's not even the cute cries where it's just one tear lang. It's the whole like ugly crying. And thank God I had my shades on because I was like, I cannot do this. I cannot do this. And even after he gave the speech, one of the girls, I think Miss Jamaica, Sabrina, she apparently wrote a poem. So she shared that poem, like spoken word. And I forgot most of her lines. I can't say it as perfectly as she did. But when she did, that made me cry again. So it was just like tears on top of tears on top of tears. And yeah, my eyes were so swollen that I told myself, it's okay, it's okay. It'll go down later, it'll go down later. But yes, moments before the pageant started, my eye was not, my eye was still very swollen. And it was specifically the right eye. I couldn't open my eyes properly. I found out that it developed into a sty. So my right eye got infected. But I pushed through, laban lang. And hey, we made it.
Yes.
Top 5, baby.
Paano yung mata mo na? Nakagano ka lang. Ayan. So, ayan. Malalaman pa natin ang kanyang ang tungkol sa kanyang experience sa Miss International 2023 sa ating PEP Challenge na tinatawag naming Social Media Grade. Ayun. Antayin natin, PEP.
Ay, ang gagawin lang natin, papakita natin yung mga
Mamaya
picture.
na. Hindi pa na. At ayan, ito. Bali, ang ating mechanics for today's video. For the chika ka na wala pa tayo sa camera, Sisi Curl. Ang mechanics, mag-flash tayo ng photos on screen from Nicole's Instagram. Tapos ikakwento niya lang yung
Chika.
stories behind that photo. Okay, let's go. First picture. Ayan, siya lalabas.
Oh, oh, I can tell you all about this day. So for the first time in Miss International history, I decided, since I had so many months to prepare, I figured it would be a good idea to ask for a courtesy visit with the ambassador of Japan in the Philippines. So Ambassador Gaz was so open that he not only invited us to the office, he invited us to his residence.
Ooh.
Yeah. So when we visited, he was sharing like the similarities between the Philippines and Japan, certain cuisines that are like fusions. He like an example would be the guava sinigang. He thought like that's a delicious mix of the two. And in this picture, he was saying that Voltus 5, which is an anime, really blew up in the Philippines.
Yes.
So it originated in Japan because, yes, anime. And because the fans were so big here in the country, it kind of became an icon, a shared love for the series. And in his residence, he had his own little Voltus 5
Action figure.
So then he showed it off with pride. So like we were surrounded by the press and we were just taking pictures with it. It was really nice. We also got to check out his garden. He had a huge garden, and it just rained that day. And I was in white pants. You see where this is going, right?
Maputi.
He goes, "Come on, let's go see the garden." And I don't want to be arte. So I said, "Yeah, let's go." And when I stepped on the grass, I immediately regretted my decision because I started to sink. I'm like, no. And yeah, by the end of it, I had ombre pants from white light to dark. Yes.
Ayan.
Really
Yung
good
Voltes
day.
5, parang mas matanda pa sa ating tatlo yan.
Diba?
Have you watched?
Yes, with ikaw. Panood mo
You grew
ba?
up with it?
Ngayon.
I haven't seen it yet, actually.
Nagkaroon pa siya ng
Yeah,
live
on the
action,
list.
di ba? With
Kasi si
GMA.
Kamay.
So,
Parang
ayan.
Transformers siya.
Cute. Okay,
Hindi ko
next picture.
Oh man, this is so nice. That picture, the girl on the right beside me, that's actually former Miss Universe Japan, Mary Belen. And that's me during my meet and greet. So I have a friend who's from Cebu as well, who moved to Japan. And I told him, like, oh, I'm going to be going there a few days earlier. Do you think that you could take me around? I want to visit the ambassador of the Philippines there. And he says, we're going to arrange a meet and greet for you. And I said, really? In Japan? And like, that's the first time it's ever happened. So sweet. The Filipino community there is just so supportive. And it made me feel extra special because when you're working in Japan, you're really on your own, diba? Like when you travel, you have to take the train, you have to carry your things. If you have work, you have to go after work. If you have an event, you have to do your own hair and makeup. Or if you get somebody, it's going to cost a fortune. That the fact that there were people who not only went to the dinner, but they actually paid to go to the meet and greet. I couldn't believe that Mary Belen was even one of them. Like I was just overjoyed. Like you can see that smile. I'm just like, yeah. And I actually came from Osaka that day because I did a collab shoot there.
Oh.
And we took the bullet train and went straight to the dinner. It was exhausting, but the moment I saw everybody and their smiles, it felt like, wow, these people are here for me, and the wait was really worth it. Love
Ayan.
that.
So, naramdaman mo ang love ng mga
Mm-mm.
Filipino fans at supporters na nasa
So supportive.
sa Osaka,
Grabe.
tama ba? Hindi nakikinig. Osaka, tama?
Oo.
Yes, Osaka.
Oh, have you been to Osaka?
Not in my dreams.
Okay.
Soon.
Soon. Okay, next
Next
picture
tayo.
tayo.
Oh, this one was one of the free days that we had. So we had I think in the morning we had the shamisen and the koto. Those are the two traditional instruments in Japan, like super old, and they gave us a live performance. And I'm telling you, when you hear it in person, I don't know what it does. I felt
It's
it in
so calming.
I felt it in my soul. Like that's how beautiful it sounds in person. And the way you play it, the shamisen only has 3 strings. So, but it sounds like it has 6. It sounds like it sounds like it's so easy to use. But we had like 3 girls try it on, and they had a pretty hard time trying to keep up. Look at if you see that pick, it kind of looks like something you'd use
that's a
cement.
pig. Okay, oo nga.
It's something, right? And it was so fun because he not only played his own original songs, but he even played songs we knew, like some Michael Jackson. And I remember by the end of it, we were all dancing. Like we were right in front of the stage, and we were jumping up and down, like as if we were in some kind of rave. But we were just jamming to traditional instruments.
That one, di ba nakaano siya? Parang nakalapag siyang ganon.
And for the girl, the koto or the kyoto, koto, I think it's called the koto. I could be wrong, but you lay it down, and she has like these ivory nails that she puts on her fingers, so that becomes the pick.
Oh,
Right? Parang, it's like she's playing the piano, but with her fingers. It was a really, really
I saw that
beautiful
nga kasi nakita ko
experience.
sa IG. Naka-carousel siya with the video, diba? And she's playing.
Yeah. And it was so cute. When we took that picture, we took a video right after, and the guy goes, "Magandang babae."
Wow.
So if you check my Instagram, you could hear him say that.
Oh, ayan. Punta tayo sa IG ni Nicole kasi doon lang namin to kinuha. Okay, next. Eto, natuwa din ako dito.
Oh, this was the day that we arrived in Kaga City. So we actually had to take a plane to get there, which I thought was really nice because I was like, oh, look at me taking a domestic plane in Japan. So we all had to we were even taking like rampa videos in the airport. I had my onigiri with me before we got on the plane. And as soon as we arrived, we had a courtesy call to the mayor of Kaga's office. And it was the cutest thing you'll ever see. Because when you arrived, they had these cute little mascots. They had like 2 birds. One was in all black, and the other one was in green. And they're just like, and the whole office was filled with people like waving different flags. How cute is that?
Diba?
They make you feel so special when you arrive. And I found her because she was waving the Philippine flags. I was like, come, let's take a video. And she was so excited. And she was saying things in Nihongo that I didn't understand. But I just felt like, yes, Philippines. And
I like that she was so excited.
yeah, it was a really great day. I think that was one of my favorite experiences throughout the trip, to be honest with you. When we got to the room and the mayor welcomed us, we were all in this like rectangular arrangement, and Estonia got to talk. I think also who was the other one? It was Estonia and another country who were expressing their thanks, because Kaga actually has like friendship towards other countries, so that I don't know how the agreement works, but it really strengthens the bond. And the beautiful thing about Kaga City is that it's the complete opposite of Japan, Tokyo, in a sense, that in Tokyo everything's so small, everything is like the rooms, even the hotels are very compact, but in Kaga City they're big, and the fields feel endless, And we even got to visit schools there. We played with the kids and the high school students. So I felt like that was real cultural immersion because it's different when you just visit a tourist spot versus actually meeting the people who live there. And it seemed like a beautiful place to start a
I
family.
saw that nga yung video with the kids sa school.
Right, with a little, they look like maracas. So fun.
Parang nalibot niya yung buong Japan.
Oo.
Osaka. Tapos, ayun.
Sige, anong
Look
city
at that
yan?
smile.
Kaga.
Parang nakikinig siya.
Kaga. Oy!
Meron
Take
tayo na
notes,
station
take notes.
later.
My turn to do a trivia later. What did I say?
Next picture tayo. Ayun.
Ayun.
Ooh,
Ganda naman.
the kimono. That
Hapon na
was also
hapon ka dyan,
Kaga.
Inte.
Oh.
Oh, thank you. So this was also in Kaga. I think it was in day 2 that we arrived. And
Is
when
this
we
an onsen?
we took the pictures by an onsen actually. This was taken in one of the restaurants we ate in. It had a buffet and it was one of the oldest. I wish I could remember the name that we were in, but the cool thing about this kimono was as soon as we arrived at the shop, we were asked to pick any kimono. And then they would do your hair, they would pick the little this and that. And the moment I saw this, I was like, hey, I like this color, I'm going to wear it. I find out days later that former Miss International Philippines 2018, Atisa Manalo,
Yes.
happened to have the same exact kimono during her time in Kaga City. And that gave me, I was a little surprised to see that because I could have picked any color. She could have picked any, like,
True.
out of 70 countries, 30, because we were cut in half, I think. Like, half of us went to Fukushima and the other half went to Kaga. What were the chances of us wearing the same exact one? There was like a side-by-side photo on Instagram and I was like, wow, that's a crazy coincidence over there.
Pero nakaka-fresh naman kasi ang pink.
I felt so beautiful, and seeing the other girls in their kimonos as well, it was like tapping into your feminine side. We even had a photo with like an umbrella.
I saw
We were
that.
walking around the streets. I was like, is this what it's like?
Okay, next. Boobs.
This was actually the same day. That's why you can see like my hairstyle is the same. Oh my god, I'll be so happy to teach you guys this. Right after we did the kimono, we changed and we went to this old theater where we saw a geisha performance, and the girl with a mask on, she was actually the one singing. The girl in blue she played the instruments. I think it was also the shamisen. And after the performance, they invited us to learn about the geisha parlor game. And we got to go on the stage and really play on the spot. So I can actually teach you if you want to learn how.
Sige, go.
Is there time? What's our
Yes,
time
you
limit
can
here?
do.
Okay, so if you have a little cup or a small item, do you have any small item?
Hanap tayo ng small item. Bigla.
bring me a
Bring
small
me.
item.
Ayan.
Maybe like a ball. I don't
Ayan,
know,
that
something-
one.
Ayan, sige.
Can we have yung
Ano
takip?
to?
Yung takip na lang.
Ay, that one, yes, perfect. So you go like this, and like do this. Okay. Okay. So
Okay.
you can't join. I'm sorry. This is a 2-player game.
Two-player game lang pala. Sorry, sis, nod ka muna.
Okay, so when I tap,
Okay.
you tap your palm. When
Okay.
I tap my palm, you tap the cup.
Okay.
Okay, so tap your palm. Nice. That. Okay. So usually there's a song that plays, and if I grab it, you have to do this. You have to turn your hand into a fist.
Okay, and then?
Okay, and you knock. But if you land like this, then you lose.
Okay. Ang dali naman pala.
Okay,
Kaya,
so you wanna try it
let's
out?
go.
There's no
Salamat.
music.
Sige nga.
Okay, ready? Go. Yo, that's correct. Oh my gosh, that's correct. You're good at this. No, but you're supposed to keep going and
Oo
going
nga.
until if
Nag-stop ako, di ba?
somebody messes
Kinabahan ako
up,
first.
if somebody messes up, then they take they
punishment.
drink
Whatever.
basically
they
because
drink.
that's what they would play it together with.
Oh.
Mm.
Ay, pwede pala ito sa magjowa eh. Kung may anak ko
Sino
ibalak.
magbabayad ng ano gano'n?
Charot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was super intense because they sang and they had these drums in the back, so you're like must be on beat with the song, right?
Oh, may challenge. Okay.
So
May
maybe
natutunan
one day
tayong
we could
bagong
try it out.
partner game.
Mamaya, tatayin natin.
Sige.
Mm.
Next
Next.
picture. Kaya only have a few left. Ito.
This was our preliminary competition.
Yes. Let's take muna, Bong Tan of Musicology for the photo.
Shout
For the
out to
credit,
Sir
diba?
Bong. I was really glad to see him there. You know, when you see other
Familiar people, yeah.
it really calms your nerves. So that day we had a private interview, a short walk, and I remember just feeling so nervous that day because everyone's like, "What's the question? What's the question?" And we were on the other side, so we were like trying to listen, like, "What are they being asked? What are they being asked?" But it was nice because I think I was closer to the end because I'm Philippines.
Yeah.
Right? It's the by alphabetical order. So the girls who finish, you just go up to them and you're like, "What did they ask you? How was it?" And they tell you like, "Oh, it was all right. Like it wasn't as bad as it." Like, so hearing them share their experience, you're like, "Oh, okay, it can't be that bad then." And it really wasn't. The moment you get on the stage, you really just take it as it is, right? And the judges were smiling. I remembered, so I thought, okay, I'm okay.
Kaya, inilaban.
And next time.
Next. This one, I love it.
My pride and joy. Shout out to Axelke. She's a designer for my national costume this year. We really wanted to kind of steer away from the traditional Filipiniana. This is actually a Filipiniana as well. It's just not too obvious given the way that it's structured.
Yeah.
It's actually uni inspired or sea urchin.
Sea urchin.
Or what we call it tuyong. I personally like eating it raw when they cut it open for you.
Yes.
So fresh. And it's
Why
actually a
why did
shared,
you go for tuyong or sea urchin for this one?
because it's a shared delicacy that both the Filipinos and the Japanese could.
Yeah.
And you know how it's really in our culture that we bond over food. Right? When it comes either with family, with friends, we always say, like, let's go here, let's go there, let's kain na tayo, diba? And when my national costume designer brought up this concept, I was like, are you sure? Is it gonna be black? I wasn't ready to, because when he said sea urchin, I was like, I don't know, what if it's gonna be taken badly? And I don't think black's like the right color. But it wasn't black, and it came out like nothing I've ever seen before. And it even reminds me of like a festival queen.
Yes.
Which is wonderful because I was a former festival queen for Sinulog.
Yes.
So it just made me want to dance when I was in it, and I got to do my twirls, my dance moves on the stage. It's fun, it's playful, it's bold. And if you look closer at the picture, you can see even the makeup was a playful take for
Was
the
it heavy?
concept. The headpiece, surprisingly, it's the body itself not so much, but the headpiece kind of felt like it was really pushing your skull, so you can't keep it on for too long. Really, really fun.
Yun nga, di ba pag sinabing sea urchin, kasi yung mga fresh.
Oh, and fun
Black
fact,
siya,
those little shards, they're all sewn together by hand. Yeah. So according to Miss Axe, she was like, it took me like a month for me to make this for you. You better feel special. I was like, Miss Axe, you're the best. You're the best.
Kasi lahat din ng gawa niya even for other candidates. Ang galing niya talaga, ang husay. So, galing, Sir Axel. Miss Axel King. Ayan. Ito next. Isa pa to, boobs.
Boom.
Sino ka dyan?
Nicole Borromeo, actually.
Gosh, that was such a fun shoot. You have no idea. Stephen, the photographer, he actually got someone from back home to create the setup. So this isn't some AI generated background. This is the real deal.
Actual
Like they,
set, yeah.
I wish I had a picture to show you, but there was the backdrop, and they really placed water on the bottom. So I'm actually stepping on water.
Okay.
and the team would divide the tasks. Like one would like hold the light, the other one would play with the water so that it would
Play with,
flicker.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, Credits, my gosh, to my friend Amato. She's a world-renowned designer from like, Dubai-based,
Yes.
and also grew up in Cebu. So when we asked, I was overjoyed when she was like, "I'll do it for you. I will make you your finals gown." And I sent my pegs, but I didn't get to see it until maybe a few weeks before I left for the pageant, which is a little nerve-wracking because you would think that with all this
Kailangan
time
may update
you
ka
would
na.
see it. Yeah, but this is an artist, right? Like you don't find out until you see it in person. And I was like, please, Lord, please. I hope that I feel it, right? Because you have to, when you join a pageant, you feel the gown. Like if it's really the gown, the winning gown for you. And the moment I placed it on, I said it felt like a glove. Like it fits so well, and
Yes,
it
hulma-hulma na nga sa'yo.
yeah, it unintentionally felt very like sea inspired, like Magandara,
Yeah.
mermaid. And I liked how the cut was so unique. You've never my former gowns would be like more conservative, and this one showed it was a really conservative gown actually, because you don't see any leg, but
But it's form-fitting.
it's very form fitting, almost like a mermaid, which I
Yes.
completely loved. And it showed the shoulders and the front here, and it's got these plastic shards on the arms and the bottom. That whenever I walked, you could really see the motion. Like you can't keep your eyes off it. When the light hits it,
True.
it's
Ang gusto ko sa
chef's
kanya,
kiss.
yung conservative covered ka, pero ang sexy pa rin dating kasi nga form-fitting.
Oh, and also those extensions were crazy long. Like if you look at the hair, it actually went all the way down to like my lower back. And it was nice because my
True.
natural hair is actually
And you had a
super
different
short.
styling for the pageant itself, diba? Parang
Very sweet, very
sweet.
simple.
Were you, naka-pony ka ba no? Tama ba? Yeah.
It was a side part, and it was just a low pony.
Oh, di ba? Siyempre, tinandaan natin yung Charis.
Next time.
Next. Last 3.
Ooh, man, this is already after the pageant, so you can see how how
Parang nakapag-shopping kayo dyan, ah.
yeah, it's like we were actually on our way to a tea ceremony held in Ginza, and it was outdoors. Like they kind of just made a setup. It wasn't inside a tea house. It was just by the street next to Dior. Wow, super social, John. And we had to bring the tea over to the guests. What's really funny though about this picture was we were exhausted leg-wise because we were in our heels the whole time. Yeah, and Stefan, the person who was taking care of us, he kept saying like, "Oh yeah, it's really near. It's just a few stops." And then during our first stop, we were like, "Oh wow, look at us! We're taking the train, public transportation. It's so fun!" Because we were always on the bus during the pageant, and this time we were taking the train. And then there was a lot of walking and walking, and we're like, and then Stefan would be like way ahead of us. And we're like, how far are we going here? Like, my legs are hurting. It's insane.
May tropa tayong ganyan, no?
Yeah, so we just smile through the pain.
Malapit na, pero malayo pa pala.
He walks a lot. In Japan, you're gonna walk a lot. The number of times I've woken up with my legs aching from all the walking It's insane there. Like I wish I could get a massage.
True. Walang tricycle, di uso ang tricycle sa
Oh.
Japan.
Sayang.
Diba?
So yung mga magja-Japan dyan, alam niyo na, dahan-dahan kayo ng
May tricycle
lakad.
doon.
Walang tricycle.
Oh.
Okay, next.
Next, sir.
Ay, nakatulog na siya.
Next, sir.
Gosh, that's my Lola Bobby, Lola Janet, and my mom, Joanne. It feels weird saying her name. I'm like Joanne.
So they
'Cause I call her
to
mom.
Japan talaga to support
Yeah.
you.
So my family has never actually seen one of my pageants live. It's only been my mom, and I think my tita from way back. But after I won Beanie Beanie, because they were actually supposed to watch for the nationals.
Yeah.
However, like things came up, and given that the cases were still like up and down,
That time,
yeah, they didn't end up flying from Cebu. But after I got crowned during Beanie Beanie, my grandpa was like, "Hey, we're all gonna go to Japan.
Ay, gusto
We're
rin
all
magbakasyon.
gonna watch Nicole."
Gusto rin magbakasyon ni Lolo.
And I was like, "Lolo!"
Sabi nila, sige, tayo
Support
na.
tayo,
Oh, support tayo, pero babakasyon tayo.
But it was also like very like it's like to support Nicole and go around Tokyo, baby. We're going on tour. Like, so they arrived the day before the pageant, and they watched on the night, and it really meant a lot because my grandma, she's not really into traveling so much. So for her to not only fly there, but to watch physically in the competition, I remember people asking me, "Do you feel nervous that they're in the audience?" And I said, "No, I felt the opposite. I felt proud because this is the first time that they're going to see me doing something that I love, that I'm so passionate about, that I get to represent the Philippines, and they're watching that in person. Nothing beats, experiences are always different when you get to see things live, right?
Yes.
And seeing them there was just pure joy. But unfortunately, on the coronation night, I didn't get to see them right away, just my mom for like a second, and then we were taken back to do the interviews.
Yeah.
So this was the day before they flew out. I only saw them for a night, and
So ilang
they went
days
back.
sila doon?
The 25th until the 29th? Until the 29th,
Yeah.
yeah. So 26th was coronation, and I saw them on the 28th.
So nakaikot-ikot naman
May 2 days, may 3 days, ganun.
In fairness, si Lola talaga yung sabi, kahit ayaw mag-travel ni Lola, sige, mag-travel tayo. Nakahanap siya ng excuse. Last.
Oh, you got this photo of Tita Jerry. Oh, okay. Tita Jerry is actually the head of Aces and Queens, my camp.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was so supportive. Like I wouldn't have been able to go through this whole competition mentally if it weren't for him. He would always call me, and he would tell me like write down your affirmations. Because when you're in a competition, sometimes you get in your head and you're like, can I really do this? The doubt creeps in. But he was really my rock. And he would send such positive energy. So he would keep asking me, how are you doing? How are you doing? Even after the coronation, he's like, how are you doing? What did you do today? And I said, I went to Disneyland.
Ayan, so yun yung sila ni Sir Jerry.
So we spent my boyfriend's birthday in Disneyland, and I sent him a photo. And originally, this picture was filled with people in the background because it's Halloween.
So in-edit mo lang sila.
It's Halloween, and it's packed with people. And I sent him the photo, and he sends the photo back, and he's like, I took the people out for you. And I'm like, oh, look at you! Like, for context, Tita Jerry's a lot older. Like, he's probably in his 60s. He's a senior, and the fact that he knew how to edit people out, I was like, what app do you use? I don't even know how to do that. And if anybody recognizes, that's Monsters Inc. That's Sully's hat, and it was just one of my favorite experiences in Japan because I'm a sucker for Disney, and I love rides. I love childhood memories, and that was just filled with it.
Ayan, yan na yung last picture natin.
Yeah.
Pero meron pang tanong spin.
Uy, meron ba?
Oo, be.
Meron ba?
Mag-experience
Meron
ka
nga,
naman,
meron
be.
nga,
Kanina
meron
pa ako
nga.
chika ng chika
Go,
dito.
go.
Starstruck ko sa kanya. Ang ganda niya.
Okay,
Pumunta
go.
na lang ako. Ganun na lang. Ayan, Nicole, ayan. Parang 30 days din ata yung tagal mo sa Japan, right?
Close to 30 days. Yeah.
Ayan. What do you think Filipinos can learn from the Japanese and vice versa nung 30 days sa Japan?
Okay. I think Filipinos could learn more about the Japanese's respect for nature. The Philippines is filled with natural resources. That's what we're known for. Immediately you think pristine beaches, mountains, ganon, springs, and yet we pollute our country still, and it's a shame because that's the beauty of our country. We're an archipelago. We're so close to the water, and yet the waters are getting polluted too. And that appreciation for it, like that respect, it's understanding that hey, this is our home. It needs to be taken care of, and it's only going to happen if it starts with yourself. It's so easy to blame other people, like, oh, why aren't they doing something about it? But you can't control others, so it really starts from within. Vice versa, I believe the Japanese, although I think they practice it already, is, I guess, more warmth.
Yeah.
I'm a little biased, like I'm a hugger. And I think it's like that here in the Philippines. Like we're not afraid to go up to people and like just invite others over.
Yeah.
Like the family ties are really strong. And I know family is also important in Japan, but from what I've seen, people are busy working all the time. And I think that they could learn to spend more time with family as well.
Yeah.
Like just and not be afraid to be a little loud about it, right? Not be
Yes.
afraid to scream their hearts out the way that my family did during the coronation night. Oh, it was incredible.
Pero meron ba, Nicole, kunyari, di ba, nagpaturo sila sa'yo ng Filipino phrase or word?
Oh,
Nagtanong sila, ano ibig sabihin ng ganitong ano?
from the
Filipino.
Japanese people?
Yes.
Actually, this year was different because it was the year that they opened the University of Beauty and Wellness. So we actually ended up staying in that university in Yokohama, and we got to meet the students who went there. So it was really fun because they were very eager to know about us. And whenever they'd see me, they'd go like, "Ah, kawaii, kawaii," and it's like. And I found out from my family that since they brought extra Philippine flags on the coronation night, the students recognized it because they're like, "Oh, Nicole, we love Philippines." So they actually took the flags too, and they were waving it in
Show
the
support.
coronation as well. If they learned any Filipino phrases, I can't really remember. Maybe what I've noticed with the other girls though was they would always say "Mabuhay, mabuhay." It felt like nearly everyone knew that one specific line, "Mabuhay." I'm like, wow, this is the only one
Parang
they all
yun yung kain
know.
natin sa kanila to. Mabuhay!
Yeah, and mabuhay and ingat po.
Ang cute.
Dagdagan na pala.
Ikaw, natuto ka ng Japanese phrase, di ba? Parang yung start ng Q&A mo, sabi mo, konbanwa something.
Yeah, konbanwa means good evening.
Oh, di ba? Books.
Domo arigatou gozaimashita means thank you very much.
Oh, ikaw nga?
Basta.
And when you see something that makes you happy, I would always say "shiawase." It just means I'm happy.
Oh.
Totemo means very. So when I say totemo shiawase, they smile back too, and they're like, "Oh, she's happy to be here
Anong
with
pala ng
us."
Japanese? Nani?
Nande?
Nan.
Gambare.
Isa pa ako naalala kasi baka PG-18 na tayo.
Wala sabihin.
Hindi natin sasabihin, be. Okay. May tanong ka na. Wala na sa script ang person. Pero ayun, syempre binalikan natin yung mga experience mo kanina. Ano yung pinaka-memorable for you?
Unforgettable. Oh, that's hard. There's so many good memories, babe. Can
Siguro
we categorize? Like,
yung
give me
hindi
the
na lang nabanggit kanina, yun na lang.
Hmm?
Yung hindi natin na-touch on kanina sa
Oh, okay.
pictures.
If it wasn't the photos, let me think. Favorite memories.
Ako?
I'm sorry about that. I was like, what are you doing?
Habang nag-iisip
Sorry,
siya,
over there he was
bumababa.
making hand gestures. I
Maglalaro
was like,
muna kami dito.
What did you say?
Dami memories. Sige.
Wait, I have so many memories. Let me think.
Top of your mind.
Top of my mind. With the girls. I always think.
Sino na lang yung pinaka naging close mo na girl na candidate?
Oh,
Sinong roommate mo?
Miss Nepal.
Oh,
Miss Nepal.
In fairness.
Cassidy Shaw. She's the kindest girl. And I'm so blessed to have her as a roommate. She made the whole experience very special. Actually, now that you mentioned it, one of my favorite experiences. I'm not gonna say the most favorite because the moment you say most, you're like, but what about that one? What about that one?
ang hirap pumili.
Oh,
True.
Exactly. So one that I haven't touched on was she and I were talking. I remember now. I went to Asakusa, where it's a really famous tourist spot in Japan. They have the Sensoji temple and this strip of stores where you can buy food, you can buy like souvenirs and whatnot. And I go into this store and Miss Estonia. It's like a store for stones, like the little power stones, crystals and stuff. Yeah, and like I was just looking at it because I was like, oh, it's shiny. And then Miss Estonia goes next to me and she's like, you know, this one helped me get money. And I was like, wait, what? Let me buy one right now.
Parang gusto ko rin yan. Anong bata yan?
And she was like, I credit this. And I was like, you're telling me that you're gonna credit the stone for all the money you just earned. And she was so convincing. I was like, okay, I'm buying the rock. So I bought two. I bought one that's for I bought three.
Okay.
I bought three. So one was for wealth, another was for learning, and this small little pebble called the tiger's eye was for multiple things, like including learning. The list was very long. I don't even remember it. I just got it because I thought it looked really pretty. I was like, oh, cool.
Gusto ko yung bato for wealth. Gusto ko yun. Kulay green ba yan?
So I get back to the hotel, to the university, and I think it was already, like we were already getting ready for bed, and I was showing it to Prasity, my roommate. I was like, hey, you want to see my rocks? And just saying that out loud, she looks at it and she's like, you bought rocks? Like, you went all the way there and you bought. And when I showed it to her, I showed it to her by like the wealth rock and the learning rock and then the pebble. When she saw the pebble, she was like, what are you thinking? Like, what are you on about? And I start laughing really hard. She starts laughing really hard. And it was just one of those nights where like you don't even think about what we're gonna have the next day. You don't think about what happened. You're not worried about anything because we were just laughing in the moment. And I think that's something I really appreciated, that I met someone who was from a whole new different country, different culture, and yet here we were like laughing at something as boring as a rock.
Diba? Sana may nagpe-play ng gano'n.
Ano to?
Charis lang. Ayan. So, gusto ko rin ng rock na yon. So,
I'll tell you once I know what it is.
Which store? Para pupunta pa tayo ng Japan, diba? Para lang bumili
Gawin na lang
ng
natin tayo.
Hindi pwede. Mawala ng visa. Yun. Pang kanya lang yun.
Kung sino yung bumili.
Oo. Okay. Next.
Yung sa Q&A, curious lang ako. Kasi parang, di ba, yung ano ngayon?
Oo. First time nga to
Edition
na may Q&A.
Yeah, that was very nerve-wracking. We got like the top 7 had to get ready for the Q&A, and I thought it was pretty interesting because I've done Q&A before, and that was the first time I've ever seen it come out of a bowl of little balls. A bowl of little ping pong. So when they hand it over to you, it's just like
Ping pong.
you go like this, and it zooms in. It zooms in on the ball, and it's like question number 5 or like that. And I just kept like I guess that really helped with the nerves because then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, like, I wasn't focused on messing up. I was focused on like, hey, that's interesting.
Pero
Putting
yung
it.
Q&A, di ba, ikaw yung parang pinakamahirap yung tanong, in
Oh,
fairness.
thank you. Well,
Nung narinig ko yung question mo, sabi ko, ha? SDG? Panalo.
Nagpa-search ka,
Napa-search
napa-google
ako,
ka.
ano yung SDG? Napag-aralan ba ito ni
man.
Nicole?
Well, that makes me feel so glad actually because apparently people started to research a little more on what SDGs were after they heard the Q&A. What's great about Miss International is they give the girls a platform, and if you check their YouTube channel, you can find all of our SDG related videos and the causes that we stand for. So I love that we get to publicize this so people are inspired by what we do. I took a lot of inspiration from Miss Nepal, frankly speaking, because I think she got the highest views for SDGs, if I'm not mistaken. And what she does is incredible. She's helping support, I think, 40 kids for her organization. In my case, I just wanted to highlight what Habitat for Humanity is already doing, because I've seen how badly typhoons can affect us, and we need to have homes that are resilient. However, you can't build a home on your own, right? I don't have the money to build a house by myself. And how much more for those who are less fortunate than we are. We need collective efforts for that. And Habitat for Humanity has been around for decades, and they even allow people who aren't with a construction background to join in. They have this initiative called Bahay ni Juan, where you can actually donate annually or as often as you want. And you can even have the experience of volunteering on site. And I highly recommend the on-site volunteer work, because then you really see where all this pool of money is going to. It's going to homes, it's going to the children who are living in these homes. It's going to a life. Like, who are you without the home you live in? How do you move on? How do you survive how do you feel strong when the home you live in isn't safe? So that's something that I really wanted to highlight, and it's really great to see the number of people coming out saying that they want to join in too. And I think this is just the beginning, right? The more youth can get involved.
Yeah, support Habitat for Humanity. Alam niyo na, guys. Punta kayo sa Facebook page nila for more details.
Their Facebook page.
Ayan. Pero at that time, nung narinig mo yung question, kinabahan ka ba?
I
Kasi
think it's
parang
always important to
when you
pause.
answered, it was so spot on. Parang narinig, parang dire-diretso na yung sagot mo.
Thank you. Well, I give a lot of credit to my Q&A coaches, Pipo Gonzalez and Callie Huff. I give a lot of credit to Callie especially because she made time to call me in between. Like, she saw how exhausted I was after a long day, and my brain was like, I could physically feel my brain not working. Like, it couldn't even think. And she was just so patient with me, and I really appreciated that. When it comes to Q&A, you're always going to have to think of more than just an answer. It has to be something with substance, something that resonates with the people. And what helped me a lot was knowing that it's not about the smartest answer. It's about your answer and what you think and what you stand for. Like, people are listening to you, and I'm glad they listened to mine, and I'm glad that people thought that I did really well that night.
You did. You made us proud. Tapos
And I thank you.
papapalakpak ako nung
And I thank you.
Oh,
after.
thank you, Nikko.
In fairness, pati si Callie Miss Pasig City siya, di ba?
Oh, during Miss Universe this year.
Yan. Sana lumaban ulit si Miss Cherished. Magaling na malaman din ng may cute. Cherished. Okay.
Punta naman tayo dun sa, how are you feeling now that your Miss International journey has finally come to a close? Malapit na.
Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna lie, it was a mix. Really, really like heavy mix of feelings. And I was even telling Sir Leroy and Francis earlier that it's on and off, right? Because you're happy and sad.
Mm-mm.
I was crowned last year in 2022, and months leading up to the pageant, it has always been about the pageant. It was about the people that I got to meet, the people that supported me, and it really felt like I was the testament to how, when people come together, amazing things happen. Like, I am the product of people who invested in me. And I carry that with so much pride because I know for a fact that I would not have been on that stage. I would not have made it to top 5 if I took full credit for it, because I'm not a one-man show at all. A little sad because, again, it has come to a close. When you've invested in something so much and only for it to come to an end, although it is a winning end, right? It's a happy
Yes,
ending.
It's a happy ending.
But it's still a chapter that will come to a close, and I'm just so grateful for the memories, and I'm glad that I got to take everything in day by day. Like, I actually brought a little notebook while I was in Japan so that every day I would like write down what happened. So at least future Nicole would be like, oh yeah, that happened on this day.
Pero iba kasi yun, di ba, yung experience for Miss International, binibini ngayon since dati nauuna yung pageant, yung international pageant mismo, bago yung coronation night ng Pasig. Ngayon, nauna na yung passing, bago yung...
It's such a strange feeling because you watch the girls in your batch compete before you. You watch the previous winner compete in your pageant. You watch the crown that you have nationally be turned over to the next girl. It's not easy, right? Like, you're only human, and a part of you kind of longs for, when will my time come? And I'm glad that I got to watch Hannah Arnold during her pageant in December, because it made me feel like, hey, this wait is going to be worth it too.
Hello, Miss Hannah Arnold. She's a friend too. Sana nanonood ka.
Did you get to interview her before?
Yes. Pero dito sa live hindi.
She's a walking angel.
Ang ganda-ganda niya din. Lahat naman nananalo, magaganda.
True. And any plans after Miss International?
Ooh, plans after? Nothing is set in stone. I'm going to be taking opportunities as they come. Maybe even try show business, who knows? For sure, I want to strengthen the impact that Habitat has, because before I left, they actually mentioned that they wanted to work with the youth, get them more involved, because they're not as, like, surprisingly, that's one of the aspects that they're having a hard time with.
Yes.
So I said, hey, maybe I could help out. So I have yet to visit them because I just arrived last November 5 and we've been doing the media rounds, but hopefully after that and until the end of time, we're going to be working on that. We're going to see a bigger, brighter world. Maybe even go back to school if I have, since now that I have the time to. Let's get that degree.
Mag-aaral ulit si Miss Nicole. Anong college nawalan ako.
I'm studying interior design.
Interior design. Ay, pasok din naman sa sa advocacy mo, habitat for humanity.
Homes.
Yeah.
You really, I think even during the pandemic, people saw that value, right? That's why people started getting plants. That's why people started redecorating. Because you realize the moment the time you spend so much in one spot, that affects you. Your environment shapes who you are. So you have to ensure that the environment you are is safe, that it's secure, that it makes you feel productive, makes you feel at peace. And I'm glad that interior design does that.
Sa showbiz, anong gusto mong pasukin? Kumakanta ka ba? Or umarte, hosting? Ano ba bala?
Kung hindi mo pag-sample si Ami kung ngayon
Let's see.
Try lang
I
natin.
believe in the growth mindset. So, there's a lot I need to learn, and I think I'm capable of doing that.
Yes. Lahat naman natututunan. Parang tayo ngayon, nag-host tayo. Di ba? Chance.
You should teach me.
Naku, madaling-madali lang. Eme. May
And
tanong ka pa.
last question na tayo.
Ikaw na yan.
Ayan, message, Nicole, sa mga aspiring na gustong pasukin yung beauty pageant.
So to everyone who wants to join a beauty pageant, I highly encourage that you do. But my piece of advice before you ever join is to know yourself first. Take the time to reflect on each experience, right? Because at the end of the day, there's only one crown, and you have to think about what you'll be walking away with. What do you want to get out of this? It's more than the crown. It's about your growth. It's about the friendships you've made, the experiences you get to keep with you for the rest of your life. And of course, the privilege of you not only representing yourself, it's thinking above that. It's understanding that you're also representing your province and maybe even someday your country. And that's going to create a ripple effect. You're going to be making waves, and you're going to be in my shoes and have people ask me this very question of, what would you tell other people? Like, who would have thought I'd be here?
Ayun.
And it just started with that, like the reflections and putting yourself out there.
Nakapag-chika na ba kayo ni Angelica? Siya naman yung sasabak sa next.
Actually, we were together during the Christmas tree lighting in Araneta, the giant Christmas tree. My gosh, it's really giant. like when I saw it in person, I was like, whoa, how did they set this thing up? Malaki siya. And while I was in Japan, actually, I told you I had a notebook. I also wrote some notes down. Let's call it a cheat sheet. I made little notes on things that I wish I could have done better, or things that I completely missed out on, so that I could talk about it with Angelica. And she has my number. I have hers. I told her that she can message me whenever. My DMs are always welcome to her. And it's great, but it's really nice because you can feel her really good energy.
Yes, very ano rin.
May laban
May
din.
laban din si Angelica.
Have you interviewed her yet?
I did, pero no, before binibini pa. No,
So
Miss
before
Uni-
the coronation.
Oo, the Miss Universe one. So, she has a very interesting and inspiring story there. Na-inspire ako sa kanya.
Hindi ka nalaban na.
Ang ganda ng story ni Angelica. So, supportahan din natin siya sa kanyang susunod na laban. And syempre, Miss Nicole, if you want to promote your socials.
Oh yes, please, you guys. I'm on Instagram at nicole.borromeo, Facebook as Nicole Borromeo, and I'm trying to revive my TikTok with the same handle at nicole.borromeo.
Ayan. Doon natin makikita si Miss Nicole na sumasayaw sa TikTok.
We can go dance later.
Ayan,
What do you guys
syempre,
wanna
for
see?
Pep din, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button sa pep.tv. Meron din kaming social media accounts at Pep Alerts on TikTok and Instagram, at pep.ph on Facebook, at may ihahabol si Miss Nicole. Sige, Miss Nicole.
Right. By the way, I wanted to take this time to invite all of you to please support our fellow Bini Bini Miss Globe, Ana Valencia Lacrini, as she'll be competing this November 17 for the title. She's representing our country with so much pride, and I think she has a big chance for this crown. She's already made it to, I think, top 1 or top 2, best in swimsuit.
Yes.
So
Top 3.
I think it was top 2.
First
runner-up.
runner-up. Okay,
Yeah, so
perfect.
she-
First runner-up.
She's a force to be reckoned with. So please do support her for Miss Globe, as well as, of course, our Miss Universe, Michelle D. She's fighting. She's got this. November 18,
18.
if I'm right. We're marking our calendars. Please do support our queens. representing the Philippines.
Diba? Buhay na buhay ang pageant
Yes.
season. Good luck sa mga magko-cover. Charot. Ayan. So,
And
going
that's
back.
all, Pepsters. Thank you so
Pepsters.
much sa lahat ng mga nakachika sa atin at
Ayan.
nakinig sa atin for today.
Follow us then at Mr. Nikko Tuazon on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Once again, I'm Teen Bailon.
Ayun, Nikko Tuazon. Ito yung babay ko. Parang ayoko pang tumigil. At supportahan niyo po sino nga to?
Ang ating mga...
Ang mga, dapat supportahan si Michelle D. and Miss Blue.
Anna. Anna and Michelle.
Really,
Anna and Michelle.
na nag-birthday. Napanood ko yung birthday video niya.
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
she was
candidates.
greeted. She was
Oh,
greeted
diba
by
special ni ate girl? Charis.
Mm.
Ayun, thank you, Pepsters. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Nikko.
Ano kayo ending natin? Kamusta?